Hi, I'm June from the admissions here at George Mason University, Korea. Welcome from all over the world. Hi. This is our second YouTube live session. Our first one was done in Korean a couple of weeks ago. So if anybody's interested in learning more about George Mason, our Korea campus, student life, please click the video. It's in the description below. But as we are a U.S. university, this session will be held in our official language. So we are doing an info session live over YouTube. The biggest reason is, as everybody is probably very well aware, COVID-19 has drastically changed the lives for everybody. So we thought that it would be a great way to connect to the world while socially distancing ourselves. So for anybody who is out there thinking about their future, going to college, those especially who is interested in going to a U.S. university, but with that slight extra edge of global experience, today's session is especially for you. Let's see. I think we have some people who have joined in today, so welcome again. Anybody who would like to leave comments, questions, feel free to type it in the chat box and I will check it sporadically throughout the session and respond as quickly as possible. We are also planning on creating a separate Q&A session video as well. But I do want to mention that we're still very new to this. I'm very new to this. I'm still very nervous. So stay tuned for upcoming sessions. But we will try to improve in our creativity and also professionalism. So before we start, let me briefly introduce myself. I've been working here since 2014, so it's my 7th year here. The last 7 years I can only describe as change, tremendous change. I got married, had a baby. Oh, he's 2 now. Hi, baby Jungho. But professionally speaking, I've been very privileged to be able to see students grow from freshmen as career starting professionals. For George Mason, Korea's campus itself has grown in both facilities, but also student body. It started in 2014 with a mere 34 students, but it's now over 600 students. And by this summer, we should have 100 students who have graduated. Our community has grown as well. We have 5 universities from all over the world sharing this one Incheon Global Campus, just like George Mason University, Korea. And Songdo, our community has grown exponentially as well in size, buildings, shopping malls, and culture. So I am getting a bit ahead of myself. So let me go back to the beginning and open up our PowerPoint. And I'll briefly explain about George Mason, our Korean programs, and most importantly, how to join our campus. And then I have invited 2 very special guests today, our current students, and they will tell you more in depth about student life and what it entails. So, George Mason University, it started actually out as a branch campus of University of Virginia in 1957, but later established itself as an independent institution in 1972. So whether it's 1957 or 1972, it's actually a fairly young university, but it has rapidly grown and is now the largest state university in Virginia. The main campus is located in Virginia, Fairfax, and we now have 4 campuses, including this Korea campus. So we are well known for innovative growth, diverse student body and faculty, a world-class curriculum, and this is shown in what you can see written here. So let's talk about Korea then. Like, how did this happen? The Korea government had this great idea of inviting universities from all over the world and building a global campus that would serve as a hub that would educate future leaders. So Korea invited GMU and in opening a campus here in Korea, and here we are since 2014. So GMU Korea is unique in that we are not only accredited, but also supported from both the Korea government and Virginia, US. The similarities don't stop there. Apparently, Fairfax community, before growing rapidly together with GMU, was similar to how Songdo was at its beginning. Its close location to the nation's capital, so Washington, D.C. and Seoul, is another factor. And GMU Korea expects to grow and is growing into a very diverse and cosmopolitan society. So, how can you come to George Mason? It's the previous slide. You can apply to Mason Korea and start your freshman year, of course. You can also come as a Mason US student. That's as a global gateway and study abroad and study here for a semester a year. We also have started a Global Scholars Program. So if you are a US college student looking for an opportunity to study abroad, we have several MOUs with US universities and planning on expanding. So if you're lucky, you may actually have the chance to come to Mason Korea through this program. Also, because of COVID-19, some may be contemplating on whether if you should go to college this year or maybe even take a gap year. And because we plan to switch to face-to-face classes starting this summer, starting your freshman year at MK, Mason Korea, and later on transitioning into your original plan by transferring credits, well, that could also be a possibility as well. So let's quickly summarize why I recommend GMU Korea. First, you will be able to receive the same exact US degree in learning from the same curriculum, but you would be gaining a global experience. We very much encourage diversity, and our students have very different backgrounds. All MK students are required to study 3 years at Mason Korea and their final year at Fairfax. But all of this at a cheaper tuition, which I will get into a little bit later. And we have a much smaller student to faculty ratio. And lastly, you would be able to study top-level undergraduate programs. So what kind of undergraduate programs do we have? I mentioned 5. So first we have business, BS. It's AACSB accredited. It has been for 7 years straight in both accounting and management. We have 7 concentrations that students can choose from. Economics, BA and BS, a very highly ranked program. Global Affairs BA, which has 14 concentrations, Conflict Analysis and Resolution, Computer Game Design, which is a BFA, and this focuses on the artistic components of CGD, Computer Game Design, while providing the technical skills. So I won't go into depths regarding programs as we plan to create a video later on for each program and invite faculties and students. So again, stay tuned. And the 2 students that I mentioned that are coming are actually a Global Affairs major and a Conflict Analysis and Resolution major. Hold on, I think we have a question. Not yet. Okay, all right, so back to the PowerPoint. Yes, but I do want to talk about one thing about the support we provide towards our students, especially for career development. As previously mentioned, we are still quite small in terms of student population. As such, we strive to support and help build students' careers up close and personal. Because of this, many of our students have actually had great opportunity to gain internship experience during their undergraduate years, and we are able to do so with our strong belief that the development of our university and community should grow together. This slide shows some of the companies and institutions that our students have had the opportunity to work with. So, then how does one apply to Mason Korea? Exactly how you would apply to a U.S. university. So we have 2, PASS common application and then the Mason exclusive online application. You can use either one or the other. I do have one piece of advice, a recommendation. please just choose one app, and when you are applying, please just choose one campus. So whether it's Mason Korea or Mason Fairfax, please just choose one campus. If you are having a hard time choosing, making a decision between the two, but you definitely know you want to come to Mason, you can choose one campus when you apply, and then you're welcome to switch campuses even after being admitted. And then second step, you submit your documents. The documents that you are supposed to submit, we have requirements and optional. As you can see, your high school transcripts, standardized test scores, personal statement, and then the optional documents. I see that we have we have a question. So, your website has different programs than business. Oh, that's actually a very important question that I would love to answer right now. So, starting this fall, so previous to this fall, we had management, accounting, and finance. But under business, we have now 7 different concentrations, which not only include these 3, but we also have 4 more that students can decide to choose from. The other 4 concentrations are, I mentioned accounting, management, and finance. We also have marketing, management information system, business analytics, operations and supply chain management, and marketing. Wait, did I mention marketing? So we have 7. So all the students can choose between one of these concentrations. The reasoning of this change is I mentioned before that we are AACSB accredited. Simply put, we are a very great we have a great business program. We have great business faculty and research and so on. However, the global trend is now sort of having a more holistic program name. So it's under business. You can have 7 concentrations or 7 minors. So starting this fall, you would actually be applying to business, and then later on in your upper division, you will be able to choose these minors. Okay, we have another question. Are there many foreign students in the Korean campus? Rajesh Kuthrapali. I am also a Big Bang Theory fan myself. So very nice to see that name. So we have, we are, I guess, slowly increasing in the number of foreign students. We very much encourage diversity. The 2 students that I have invited are actually our international students, which ironically means non-Korean students. So yes, we have probably a majority of Korean students, but we also, all the Korean students have many diverse backgrounds, meaning they have usually studied abroad and are coming back to Korea, or they're second generation Koreans. The international students, like I said, is increased. I think the biggest population comes from the US. I also mentioned that we have the 2 study abroad programs where our US Mason students come study here for a semester or a year. So in that way, yes, we are becoming much more international and diverse in our student body. I hope that helps. Okay. So back to where I was. Yes, so application deadline, right. So I think one thing that you do need to know is that because of COVID-19, our fall 2020 and spring 2021 application deadline has kind of been moved. So that's something to know. 2, we are still receiving fall 2020 applications, so FYI. Another thing that many of you may think is a bit strange is that we have 2 admission cycles. So you're welcome to apply to our spring or fall. The biggest difference that I would say is that our spring cycle has more students who have graduated from locally, so Korean high schools here. Another thing that I would like to briefly explain to our future international students out there, our next slide, is that immigration process, applying for a D2 visa, which is the general student visa for international non-Korean students, will take about 3 to 4 weeks. And currently, because of COVID-19, there are some additional documents that also need to be submitted to your local South Korea embassy when you apply for this visa. Lastly, I want to talk about costs. So, tuition differs between the Korea campus and the US campus, as you can see. And then Virginia in-state students would pay in-state tuition fees. And I also want to mention that you can use various veterans benefits towards your Mason education as well. We also have several scholarships offered. Regarding entrance scholarship, however, you would have to go through the additional process of essay submission and interview. But once rewarded, you will be able to receive scholarship for the 3 years of your stay at the Korea campus. Because of the difference in tuition between campuses, I do want to share that all Mason Korea students receive a transition scholarship during their study at Fairfax. So between $4,000 to $12,000 that year, and this depends on your GPA. So students interested in doing an accelerated master's degree, another benefit that I do want to mention is that you would be able to get an undergraduate and master's degree in 5 years, so 1 year faster, and your last year tuition, your master's year tuition would be equivalent to your in-state tuition. So this is my piece for introducing GMU Korea. And before I invite students to the front, let me just check one more time if we have questions. I think we have one more question. Oh, do fall semester and spring semester take different classes? Another good question. So basically, fall semester and spring semester, they start differently in a different time, and you are starting differently. So yes, the classes that you take are different. However, the core classes that you have to take throughout your Mason years are pretty much the same. So the first semester, you would, if you choose right, you would be able to take a semester, the same class with another student that actually came here one semester previously. I hope that helps. How many Korean students for fall 2020? So we actually don't have a quota for nationality itself. So if you are a student that fits our George Mason University profile, then you will be admitted. If not, then you are welcome to try again by building your portfolio. So Veronica mentioned, how many MK students can take semesters in US campus, and when can we go to the US? Another good question that, okay, so I previously mentioned that you, as a Mason Korea student, you are required to do 1 year in Fairfax. However, we are a little bit more flexible in that for some students who want to take a minor that is not offered here, or even a double major, some students actually go a little bit earlier than their final year. I do want to mention this may be a little bit too early for those who haven't even started applying yet, but one thing that we are more rigid on is going to Fairfax first and then coming to Mason Korea to graduate, because I want to mention that all our upper classes, the more various upper classes are offered at the Fairfax campus. So going towards the end of your undergraduate year is something that we are more strict on. I hope that helps. Oh, we have a very passionate Nevir. If you only offer those 3 business programs here right now, would I be limited to those same ones with the change you said at that campus? Oh, of course not. Even if, let's say you're a current student now who is a management major, these students can start either minoring or even double majoring or having a concentration in any of those 7 concentrations that I previously mentioned. Yes, so we will now invite our students up to the center. Please welcome our 2 students. Yes. let me just change places. All right. All right, so a quick hello to the crowd. Hi.
Hey.
All right, so want to do a quick intro?
Oh, yeah, sure. So my name is Graciela, but everyone here calls me Grace, and I'm a global affairs student.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, hi, I'm Matthew. I'm a conflict analysis sophomore here, and my concentration, like the special program that I'm in, is for interpersonal relationships.
All right. Okay, so welcome again. Thank you so much for coming here today. I think we were lucky because you guys were both here on campus, even though of COVID-19. So can you tell me about yourself? Let's start with Grace here, and why you chose to come to Mason, Korea.
So I'm actually enrolled at George Mason Korea. I didn't come from the Fairfax campus. The reason why I decided to apply to George Mason Korea was because when I was in high school and searching for colleges to apply to, my counselor actually recommended me to apply to George Mason Korea because
Right.
she mentioned that it was a new campus and that they were offering scholarships to many people from different backgrounds. So I am Salvadorian. So that was like a really good.
I remember.
Yes,
We were
so-
very excited at
Yeah,
the
I was
very
very
beginning.
excited to first come to Korea because it was like the first time me like going outside of the USA. So I was like, I want to take this chance to go out there and exploring. And they also have my major because I was interested in international relationships, and it's very similar to global affairs. So I applied for the entrance scholarship, and I actually got it. So I made the math, and it was actually cheaper for me to come and study in here than go to the Fairfax campus. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, this is a great chance for me to continue my education and go out there and explore the world. So I made the trip. So I've been here since I actually initially came into George Mason Korea in 2016.
Right.
But then I took a gap year and I came back in fall 2018.
So Grace herself can also say how much change has happened throughout our campus.
Oh yes, of course. So the first time I came here, the area that George Mason Korea is a new city, right? Songdo. So there was like really like nothing in here when I
Right.
first came in here. But when I came back, I saw all the new stores. Now there's a mall right next to our campus, like 5 minutes walking, and I was just so amazed how everything changed so quickly. And then like there were more students, there was more faculty, and it just seemed that the school was getting more bigger and bigger as time it goes on.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. And before we talk to Matthew, I want to mention Caroline says hi, Matthew and Grace.
Hi.
All right. So Matthew, what about you? Tell me about yourself and why you chose to come to Mason, Korea.
So, kind of similar to Grace, I directly enrolled here, so I've been here for a little while now. So for me, the reason that I chose here was kind of two main reasons. So for me, growing up, both my parents were in the military or in the government. So for me, I was always used to moving around a lot and very much accustomed to that international educational experience. So when I was choosing colleges, I really wanted to reconnect with that because I saw a lot of value in being able to kind of go into a new environment and show that I had the capability to truly understand what it meant to work with other people, not just in the United States, but like actually on like a globalized scale. And then the other reason was, so I went to a very competitive high school in Texas where it has a legacy of the top students are expected to go to Ivy Leagues. Anything else is a disappointment. So like as I was entering into my senior year, I was looking at that and I was doing the whole college experience of like trying to go to all these colleges, trying to do these internships and these interviews with these colleges. And for me, it was just, I never fit in with that culture. It was very much a go to those schools and you fit into that culture and not you being able to really gain anything as a unique individual. So I was really fortunate that I had the opportunity to come here and do some interviews with the faculty and staff. So what I realized through those interviews was, this sounds really like cheesy and like cliche, but when I came here, I felt like I actually mattered and that if I spoke up, my voice would be heard. So that was really important. And that's shown through like everything we have on campus. So it's like smaller class sizes means I actually know my teacher instead of like some of the other universities I went to where I'd be lucky if like the teaching assistant knew my name. So so it's like that. All of the faculty and staff here are super kind. Their doors are always open. So if I ever have a problem, if it's like something related to my classes or something related to like housing or like whatever like legal form that I don't understand, they're always willing to help me out. And that feeling and reassurance was so important for me going into college.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I think we have a question for you guys too. Let's go up. Oh, I think Alex means you with your comment. Okay, so what is the advantages of studying in Mason, Korea? Who wants to talk about that? I think you've talked very well about Mason, Korea. So how about you, Grace?
So I will say it will be the same as him. Since the classes are smaller and they have less students, we can actually go to the professors and talk to them more freely, and it's easier to talk to them rather than being in a big in a big classroom with a lot of students where maybe you might not even be recognized by the professors.
Right.
So another big thing for me will be like I get more chances at experiencing like internships or becoming. I was actually an RA,
Right.
so I became an RA. It was a great experience to learn how the whole school's like student housing works, and also I did internships in the school. It's easier to get internships in the
Right.
school, and then you can it's kind of like gaining experience before you go out into the real working field.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one of the big advantages. They give you a lot of opportunities for you to like go out there and explore what you want to do, and they also have like clubs, and we have a Chingu program,
Oh, yes.
which I was a board member of for about like 1 year. They do a lot of if you're into K-pop, they do go to you get to get free tickets for one of their concerts, K-pop concerts. It's in Incheon actually, Incheon K-pop concert. So if you join the program, you can get free tickets to get there, and you get VIP seats. So yes, you can see
I
your
did not
idols.
know that.
Yeah, you get VIP seats.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good to know.
Yes.
Good to know. So I think Matthew, what is it like graduating from Mason, Korea as a foreigner? Do you get a job in Korea or do you go back to the US? I know you haven't graduated yet, but would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so when it comes to that question and then like in general looking forward into my career, it's always about like having as many options as possible. So it's like even though we're in Korea, like Songdo is like meant to be an international city. So it's like when we talked about the program earlier that like introduced Mason Korea into the area, at the same time the South Korean government was doing a bunch of other things to attract a bunch of other international organizations. So it's like literally like 2 or 3 blocks down, you have like the World Bank, the United Nations, the Green Climate Fund. So even though I'm in Korea and I can like stay here if I want to do that, there are a lot of really big international organizations I can still work with.
Yes.
And luckily, because of our university having a close relationship with those organizations, we've seen a lot of students already be able to either start their career there or do some really cool internships or research programs.
And you're doing one now too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so on top of all of the other relationships, we also have 2 specific research centers here at Mason, Korea. So I'm a part of one that focuses on conflict analysis in East Asia. So it's the Peace and Conflict Research Center. So that's a unique program because it allows undergraduates to actually facilitate and do research. So I'm a student research fellow there.
Oh, okay. Great. Wow, we are getting a lot of questions. I'm actually going to have to pick and choose. Let's go back. What do you mean by directly enroll? How does that work? Does that mean you don't come to the Fairfax campus in Virginia? I will actually respond to that. So I think in the beginning I mentioned several ways how to come and study here at Mason, Korea. One simple way is to be admitted to Mason Korea, as these two were. Another way is to come as a Mason Fairfax student and coming here as a study abroad. And another way is to we have a global scholars program, because if you're a college student, then you could actually, if you have an MOU with our school, then you would be able to come and study here as a study abroad student as well. I hope that helps. But all Mason Korea students do have to do at least 1 year in the Fairfax campus in Virginia. Yeah, Texas, that's for you, Matthew, right? Diane Kim is asking, do you recommend having a roommate?
So when I first came here, I actually did have a roommate.
I have a different answer.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay.
So we'll hear both answers.
So
All right.
my first experience having okay, so the first time I came here, I mentioned it was in 2016. I didn't get to choose who my roommate
Oh,
was,
okay.
so it was randomly chosen
Wrote
for
for
me.
you.
Yeah. So, but I actually got really lucky. I got to live with an amazing person, and I'm still really close with her.
Oh, who is she? Shout out.
Somin, I call her Omni. So,
Oh,
Omni. So hi, I really like her, and we became really close. And she's one of like my Omni is the Korean word
Right.
for like older sister, because
Right.
she was older than me, and she actually already graduated from. She's a graduate.
Oh,
So
okay. I
yeah,
think
and
I
she's
know
actually
who you were
she's
talking about,
she's
yes.
working. So she got a job really easily too. So I was like. Ooh, maybe I made the right choice to come in here. Like they help you help you get a job in here. Really, they work with you. So the second time I came here, one of my fellow students at my school, high school, and I actually know her since middle school.
Okay.
She actually was interested in coming here, and she asked me some questions because she knew that I had been here previously. So I told her everything about the school that she needed to know, and we actually decided to be roommates because we already knew each other for a long time, and I think it would be better because it was her first time coming to Korea, and that's a really scary experience because when I first came here, like I mentioned, it was my first time like traveling abroad, and I had to like do everything by myself, and like it was so scary. But I had really like good people like my Omni who helped me get through life here.
Yeah.
So I would say for both experiences, it was a great experience for me because I kind of like the first time I didn't know the person obviously, but she was really kind and nice. And the second time I already knew the person, so
You were able to be the
Yeah.
Omni for her.
yeah, exactly. So but I have her stories where sometimes
yes.
yeah, but I didn't get to like experience those, and I've been living in the single dorms. Yeah, but now I live off campus. Yeah, you also get that choice after 1 year, right? You're required to live in campus for
Oh,
1
actually,
year.
you're highly recommended,
Yeah.
but not very. It's not a
Oh,
requirement.
okay. So
yes,
yeah. So but now I just decided to live off campus.
Oh, okay. How about you? You had a different response, right?
I'm the type of person where I really like my privacy.
Oh,
Like
that's
I'm a
important.
very outgoing person when I'm not outside of my dorm, but like my dorm is like where I study and sleep, and that's about it.
Right.
So like definitely like having a roommate if you're afraid that you might have a culture shock or you're afraid of coming here and being alone, like having a roommate is super important. But for me, on the other hand, like it was kind of the same idea, but it was if like I have nothing in my dorm, then I have every reason to go out and explore and like hang out with people, because it's like I'll be hanging out in my dorm and I'm like, this is boring, and then I'm like, let me message a friend and let's go get food or let's go study together. So it's like another way to like force me
So
out of my
motivate you
shell.
to go out. Okay, that works too. Okay, so I hope that helped, Diane. I think if that's a Diane that I know, I want to also say welcome. Let's see. Oh, Yunji, this content is great. I wanted to ask if taking and passing AP classes count as credit for GMU, as it does in other colleges in US. I think you mentioned the AP before. So want to take that?
So Mason Korea is actually really amazing because it basically accepted all of my AP credits, and because they were like related to my program, I was like pushed ahead a lot. So even though this is like my second semester on campus, because I was taking a lot of APs in high school, I'm like a second semester sophomore. So absolutely APs fully transfer over, and a lot of the time we're very generous in the way that they apply to your degree program.
Okay. I hope that also answers. Okay, wow. Let's see. How big are the classes there? Janelle.
You typically have like around 10 students. The
Um,
most will be like 20. The music class that we're
mhm.
required to take, that will be, I guess, that will, I would say that was the biggest class I
Which
ever
was
took.
20?
Yeah,
More
like
than 20?
20,
Oh.
20
Yeah,
students. Yeah,
there's
Okay.
they're not that big.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
for your your Mason core, which is like the common classes we're all required to take, like your English, your writings, or your like communication classes, those are capped at 30, I think. So it's like literally you will never have more than 30 people in your class. And for some people who went to like bigger high schools, then even a class of 30 isn't that big, and like you still have the capability to really have a good conversation with all of your classmates, your professor, and like truly have a good educational experience.
Yes. Okay, I missed one from Bella Tutor. Does GMU Korea do campus tours? I'm planning on coming to Korea in the fall through a State Department study abroad program and would love to look around the campus. Yes. Currently, right now, we are being a bit more strict because of COVID-19 in inviting people outside to come visit our campus. However, starting summer, we will probably most likely do face-to-face classes. And then if you are planning on coming to fall, please send us an email and we will definitely show you around campus. Um, and yes, and to go back to that previous question, I think the official answer to the ratio for student to faculty was 16 to 1, so you can keep that in mind. Um, let's see. Never. What are the job prospects for me, foreigners, out of Mason, Korea? When you mention foreigners, I want to think it's Korean or non-Korean? Is it easier to go back to the US? I think we'll have to answer both ways. So if you are a Korean and you are graduating from Mason, Korea, and you are thinking about maybe job prospects in the US, I do want to mention that we have the visas for internship and as well as for the 1 year after you graduate so that you can definitely have a much
Yep.
easier time to look for jobs and be hired. Uh, as a U.S. student, oh, Niver is from the U.S. Okay, thank you, Niver. So you, as a U.S. student, is it easier to go back to the U.S.? What are job prospects for you for the U.S. students? Okay, so maybe from your, I guess, perspective, what do you think as a U.S. student? U.S. nationality.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you feel about going back to the States or like being here in Korea?
So I actually talked with the Career Development Center person who's in charge, and he actually mentioned to me that if I ever wanted to like continue, living in Korea and like, get a job here, there are some companies who do hire like foreigners, because especially in Songdo, because we are a very like international city, like
Right.
how you mentioned. So you get to choose, I would say, but it also depends on how well you speak Korean. Learning Korean is a big plus since you're living in Korea, so they will require you to like know how to understand or know the language. So it depends. Once you come here and Korea might not be for you, or if you feel like you will feel better working in the U.S. environment. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it depends on the person. But personally, I think for me, I think I can do both. I
Right.
feel like
Yeah.
I can do both because I am learning Korean, and as of now, I can understand Korean
Yes.
better than I can speak it, because it's like I'm really shy that I might be saying something wrong or I'm being disrespectful. So I can listen and like understand, and I'd be like, oh, I know what you're saying, but I can't talk back. So I still gotta like work on that, but uh, as of now, I would say, since I am planning on going back to United States to finish my do my 1 year requirement. Oh, if I get job opportunity, I would say I will do it over there since I do live over there. But if I get a good, chance to work in a company here, I will also like to experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the biggest advantages. You can have you have a more diverse choice,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Mhm,
How
yeah.
about you, Matthew?
So for me, it's like, as Grace was talking about, there are a lot of job opportunities here in the area that you can literally like either walk to or
Right.
living in here in Korea, we have like great public transportation where it takes like 45 minutes to get to Seoul. So even if you can't find a job opportunity here,
Without traffic.
Yeah, without traffic.
okay, without traffic, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Take the metro.
Yeah, Metro,
Probably.
you'll definitely be there
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
like less than an hour, right?
Yeah, but it's like
Uh-huh.
even if you would prefer to work in the United States, what a lot of big U.S. companies or NGOs or like government offices, what they're all saying to people who are like interns or people who want a job is they're saying, go get some outside experience first, especially they prefer international experience.
Right.
Like, we're living in such an interconnected world that it's like become basically a requirement to know
Right.
how to work in an international setting. So both attending an international school, working in international organizations, doing these international internships, they all prove to future employers that I'm a well-rounded candidate. And it's not, I think I can do it. It's, I have a track record of proving that I can work in this setting, which just gives you such a massive advantage.
Now I'm very curious on how you guys are going to proceed with your careers. I hope you'll share
too.
as you go on. Okay, so Janelle and Bella Tutor. Okay, so Janelle's first question: are there any Korean classes we can take at GMU K?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
So they offer Spanish, Chinese, right?
Right,
Mhm.
Chinese
So
and Korean.
And Korean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've been taking Korean classes. There are two parts of it. The first,
I think there's like 4 different levels.
there's
Yeah,
four
because there's
different
intro to
Advanced
business professional.
business
Yeah.
professional.
Oh yeah, the Korean, yeah, but I haven't taken that one because I don't feel confident yet. Because that one is it's taught only in Korean, so you have to be like a certain level for
Right.
that. But the first 2 levels, like you're actually learning the language. And I didn't take Spanish because I already speak Spanish.
Yes.
I'm a native, so people actually come to me for help for that. So
As a global affairs major, don't you aren't you required to take some sort of
yes, you're
language?
required to have a proficiency in a language.
Right.
So what I'm planning on doing, I will go when I go back to United States. I will take a test to prove my that I speak Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, you also
That's-
have you also have the
That's
option.
ironic. You're native, but you have to prove it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I will just take the test, and that will count as my language
Oh,
requirement.
okay.
Yeah.
You're not
But
gonna take Korean?
I'm still gonna learn it, but it's
Okay.
just that like I gotta pass those classes first. I gotta
Okay.
get those credits
All right.
first.
Good luck there.
Yeah.
All right. How about you? Oh, right. So yes, that actually answers the question.
Yeah.
You're taking Korean classes too?
Yeah, I've taken some Korean courses so far, yeah.
All right. Okay. And okay, I think that answers both questions. Janelle, I am from the U.S., so I was wondering if students are going to be able to come to Korea for fall semester. Let me answer that. So we are actually still kind of waiting. I think we are still continuously communicating with Korean embassies all around the world. I think regarding the U.S., currently the Korean embassy is open, and also they are working on making the visa. So I mentioned that it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to apply for this visa process. As long as things don't get worse, I think you will be able to come and start for the fall semester. I'm very excited to meet you soon, Janelle. And Caroline is continuously mentioning you guys, right? Exciting career opportunities. Yes, thank you, Caroline. I think we've answered pretty much. Oh, we have one more question. When do I get to choose my specific major among 7 when I'm majoring in business? Very good question. So, as of now, you are actually able to choose when you apply. And then you're also welcome to change throughout your year. I think we very highly recommend your 3rd year, you stick with it and go with it, right? Okay. So I know, I think I want to say we answered to all of the questions, but I will go back and see if there we have missed anything. I mentioned that we will be creating a small Q&A kind of FAQ video as well. So stay tuned for that. If I do miss anything, I will mention it there. So before ending today's session, I think we'll just, I wanted to give a shout out to everybody to kind of hang in there because of COVID-19. It's a very hard time for, I think, everybody in the world. We will recover from COVID-19, and a very huge thank you to our frontline health workers all around the world. So, as Koreans like to express their thanks, and so we would like to say bye with our little small hearts. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.